step smoothly into the deeper depths of consciousness as we go beyond the Johari Window. In the previous video, The Johari Window to Your Soul, Freud uncovered the hidden power of the unconscious, while the Johari Window gave you a practical tool for self-awareness and understanding how much of ourselves we reveal or conceal. But Carl Jung went even further, beyond Freud's iceberg metaphor and beyond the Johari Window. He explored the shadow, the true self, and the deeper layers of consciousness most people never even touch. His insights open doors into the mysteries of the psyche and the deeper meaning of being human. In this video, we'll dive into Jung's profound vision of the individuation process and ask two powerful questions. What truly lies beyond self-awareness, and why should you value personal consciousness over the herd mentality of collective thinking? Stay with me, because by the end, you'll not only grasp Jung's deeper map of the psyche of the individuation process, but you'll also have practical tools to see yourself more clearly and step closer along the hero's journey to living your most authentic life. And if exploring the depths of consciousness inspires you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next step on this journey into life's deepest questions. Consciousness is the 11th characteristic compared in the video, spiritual world versus physical, 12 defining characteristics. It's part of the transcendence group. But before we dive into Jung's model of consciousness, let's briefly revisit the foundation laid by Freud in the Johari Window. These set the stage for Jung's breakthrough insights. Freud used the powerful iceberg metaphor to explain the levels of consciousness. The smallest and most visible tip of the iceberg, floating above the surface, represents the conscious state. Just below the surface lies the subconscious, information and memories that can be accessed with effort. And deep beneath the water is the vast unconscious, the hidden source of our drives, fears, and patterns. Freud believed this unseen realm has the greatest influence on our thoughts, choices, and behaviors. The Johari Window uses a different approach to consciousness. Developed by two psychologists named Joe and Harry, they used a 4-pane window to illustrate self-awareness. Each pane reveals who knows what is known to self, what is hidden, what is blind, and what is unknown. In our earlier videos, we explored how this model connects to the big picture of life. The purpose of the big picture is to reveal how all these models interconnect, like pieces of a puzzle shaping your inner and outer life. By linking Freud's ideas with the Johari Window, we began to uncover how the various parts of your spirit relate to the deeper elements of your unconscious. For a deeper dive, check out the videos Johari Window to Your Soul and Plato's Soul Meets the Wizard of Oz. Now let's place these insights into the big picture of life. Freud's consciousness overlaps the physical world and part of the spiritual world, and it lines up with the Johari open window. This is the state of awareness available to your soul, the human part of your true self. Although Freud referred to conscious states as involving only the mind, they also involve the will and the body. This becomes especially apparent in the altered states of the unconscious. Freud's subconscious and unconscious are submerged in the spirit world, just as most of an iceberg is submerged beneath the sea. In the Johari model, the blind quadrant reflects the subconscious. The hidden quadrant corresponds to the unconscious, and the unknown reveals the existence of the superconscious. With this foundation in place, we can turn to Jung and explore how his map of consciousness goes beyond Freud and the Johari Window. One of the biggest challenges in understanding the conscious and unconscious is that the two great pioneers of psychology, Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, did not agree on what these terms truly mean. The big picture of life helps clarify the subtle differences and similarities in the approaches of Jung and Freud to consciousness states. For both Freud and Jung, consciousness is a state of awareness, being awake and engaged with the present moment. The unconscious, on the other hand, is what lies outside of awareness, hidden thoughts, emotions, and motivations. Freud described it like the submerged part of an iceberg, unseen but shaping everything we think, feel, and do. Ordinary consciousness is the layer where most people live most of their lives. For Freud, consciousness is similar to the tip of the iceberg because it is easy to see and be aware of. But Jung goes beyond Freud. In ordinary consciousness, he saw the conscious as having two forms, the personal and the collective. The area of your personal conscious is the first layer of your inner world, your mind, body, and will. It's where your ego, identity, and rational choices live. It's where you exist when you're not interacting with others. Conversely, the collective conscious is your outer world, your relationships, culture, and how others shape your decisions and your life. It includes shared meaning, cultural forces, and deeper connections with others. The collective conscious state is full of danger because it can grow into what is called the false self, but that's something we'll explore more in the next video. Now here's the real question. What happens when you move beyond ordinary awareness into the deeper layers of the unconscious? That's where Jung's ideas truly shine and where we'll go next. Freud proposed the subconscious area that lays just beneath consciousness can be made conscious, it can be made aware with an effort. He also associated the mind, that is, the intellect and the emotions, as being the only part of the soul with access to the subconscious. Freud included in this state of consciousness memories, thoughts, feelings, and desires that could be brought into awareness. Alternatively, Jung's theory of the personal unconscious includes repressed or forgotten memories of the individual that are difficult to bring into the light of consciousness. He also included complexes. Jung described complexes as always containing something like a conflict. They are the sore spots, the skeletons in the cupboard which we do not like to remember, but which come back to mind unbidden and in the most unwelcome fashion. They always contain memories, wishes, fears, duties, needs, or insights. It is important to note that Jung credited Freud with developing the first complex, the Oedipus complex. The largest part of Freud's iceberg represents unconscious, the hidden world beneath awareness. For Freud, this deep layer of the psyche held repressed memories, painful emotions, and forbidden desires that could never be brought to light. But Carl Jung took this idea even deeper to a much larger dimension, to the collective unconscious. Just as your personal unconscious holds your own forgotten memories, the collective unconscious holds shared memories and symbols passed down through all humanity. You're born with access to these archetypes, the timeless images that show up in myths, dreams, and stories across every culture. It's here in this deeper layer of the mind that we find the union of opposites, where the personal meets the universal and the soul remembers its ancient wisdom. Freud never developed his theory of consciousness beyond the unconscious, and while Jung never explicitly named it, his definition of the collective unconscious is broad enough to include both the unconscious and the superconscious. Also, he implied a higher level of awareness through his ideas of the transcendent function and the individuation process. The Johari Window helps reveal what both men only hinted at, the existence of a superconscious mind, represented by the mysterious Unknown Quadrant. The highest level of awareness isn't a new discovery. It's been explored for thousands of years through ancient wisdom traditions. This is where your soul meets the divine. Even Plato spoke of this realm as the world of perfect forms, where ultimate truth, beauty, and justice reside. Modern thinkers like Dr. Michael Newton, a pioneer in hypnotherapy and consciousness studies, describe the superconscious as the highest center of self when we are an expression of a higher power. It represents our highest center of wisdom and perspective. In Jungian terms, the superconscious represents the highest energetic state in the process of individuation, the point where your self becomes whole. It's not easy to reach and even harder to remain there for very long, but when you do, it's pure joy. Freud showed us the hidden depths of the unconscious. Jung opened the doorway to the collective wisdom of the human soul. And the Johari Window revealed what both men only hinted at. The superconscious is the luminous center of your being, where you are one with the divine source of life itself. When you awaken to this higher level of consciousness, you begin to live not from fear or habit, but from clarity, love, and inner freedom. And in the next video, we'll explore the conscious nature of the false self. So take the next step on your journey. Explore your inner world, question your outer one, and choose to live from your highest self. If this exploration of the mind, soul, and spirit inspires you, like this video to support the message. Share it with someone on their own awakening path, and subscribe to continue your journey beyond the Johari Window into life's deepest questions. Remember, your life is shaped by the choices you make. Choose with courage. Choose with wisdom. Choose to live a life in inner consciousness.